Are you ready to find your fearlessness? Join me, Life Coach Laura, and celebrity Erica DeLong for our Triangle Mystery School YouTube series. Our shows will inspire, challenge, and keep you wanting more out of life. Join us in the rippling effect of positive change in this world. Hi, Life Coach Laura here with my co-host and influencer,
Erica DeLong. Thanks for joining us today.
And we are going to be talking about how to be self-aware. We have 5 pillars.
Which we talk about every episode, but it's so important to know all 5 of them at all times.
Right, so I'm going to repeat them again, especially if you're new. Notice your thoughts, notice your feelings, notice when you're frustrated. You're going to examine your friendships, and you're going to examine your intimate relationships.
Which is what we're talking about today. I'm very excited to talk about this.
That's right, because ladies, know who you are.
And get what you want.
That's right. That's what we're all about, that rippling effect of positive change. Hashtag rippling effect, right? Okay, so let's dig right in. Examining your intimate relationships.
And grab a pen and paper, because you're going to ask some questions, or Laura's going to ask some questions that you may want to write down so you can answer and kind of have a thought process during this video.
Yep, exactly. So we're going to rattle off some stuff to you. So do you see a pattern in the type of people that you have intimate relationships with? Have you ever seen a pattern?
I did. Before I got married, I feel like I broke the cycle with my husband, but I was gravitating towards people that needed help. Maybe in the beginning I didn't know that, but I stuck around because I thought I could fix people, and really I was suffering myself because I needed to fix myself before I try to fix them.
Right, well you can't
because I didn't fix anybody.
Right, you can't fix anybody. They have to fix themselves, and they have to want to be fixed.
Right.
They have to want it. They have to want it.
But thankfully I broke that cycle, because they say you're in a cycle. I broke the cycle with my husband, who was not who I thought I would be with, which has ended up being a blessing.
Yeah. Why do those kind of people, do you think, appeal to you?
You know what? I honestly can't give that answer other than maybe just the fact that I thought I could fix a problem as a problem solver or a people pleaser, and I thought I could make a difference that way, but I really don't understand why. And that's some work I need to do around for myself, and probably you too. You don't know why you gravitate towards those people and why they appeal to you.
Right, because it could be a little bit of people pleasing in there. I'm not very sure, and that's a story I'm making up because there's no fact to that.
Right.
It could be that. It could be just, you wanted some gratification around helping somebody, but then they're going to get frustrated and angry because they don't want it. That's a whole nother video that we're going to do, right? Think about how you contribute to your portion of the relationship. So you want to share something about you? Maybe were you too clingy, jealous? What contributed to your breakups?
Definitely not too clingy, but jealousy has been in the past, like where I would think, oh, they're going to cheat on me. And I would constantly bicker at that. And really there was no issue there, but it was my own insecurities that I was dealing with.
Self-awareness right there.
Yeah, that I kept thinking that. And I think sometimes you speak things into existence when you have those insecurities that you keep barking on others. It ends up becoming a reality at times, and did not for me, but it made fights happen that were unnecessary.
Right.
And then so definitely, and you're not happy because you're always stressed when you can be having a good time. So I would say definitely the insecure, are you cheating? Like I've dealt, and I'm sure a lot of people have, especially when I was younger, not now that I'm married, because I'm like, take them, but just kidding.
Very secure now, as we can see.
I'm like, hey, you can have them, you'll bring them back. But before I was married, definitely like my college sweetheart, there was a lot of issues with both sides of being insecure.
Right, and jealous.
So yeah.
And if you're having that type of relationship, but you really love the person and the person really loves you, even if you're not married, there's nothing wrong with going for some help as a couple. You can go to a coach, you can go to a therapist. Maybe it is your right person. Maybe you're just dealing with some stuff, each of you singularly, that can get some help, and then you can go in as a couple and maybe work it out. It's not the end of everything. But if it doesn't, then it's not meant to be.
Not meant to be.
Have you ever been clingy?
My husband said I was in the beginning of our relationship, so maybe, but I don't know if I noticed it. I wasn't as self-aware at that point in our relationship. Let's say, 10 years ago we started dating. I don't know if I was as self-aware, but now I'm more comfortable and confident with myself, so I'm definitely like able to fly with my own wings, so to speak.
Very good.
And that's because I know who I am more now than I did 10 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Just more self-aware, and there's that word again. When I'm clingy and I'm making up stories in my head about my husband or why I can't, I'm like, you're clingy. It's okay. He's not clingy. So how can I, for myself, because it's not about him, it's about me, being clingy. And he will definitely admit that if you want to ask him.
So how do you deal with that when he says you're being clingy? you become maybe defensive in the past, or you have where you're defensive on that. What do you do?
He doesn't actually tell me that I'm clingy.
Oh,
Let me
that's a
tell you
good
how it
thing.
works. Yeah, he doesn't tell me that I'm clingy. Maybe it's my Italian temper when I fall below the line. I'm not sure. But I get frustrated. So there's that frustration. And I'm aware that when I'm frustrated, I stop and go, why am I frustrated? What's happening here? What, something's triggering for me. And then I'm like, I really wanted to just hang out with him, but he's going out, and I really wished he would have, because he knew that I wanted to watch a movie, and I make up stories about how he's supposed to know what I'm thinking. And I recognize all those things. So I say, Laura, we know you're clingy. I tell myself, I talk to myself. I don't care what anybody says. I'm only my best friend. And I said, I'm being clingy, right? And if I was kind of below the line consciousness and gotten a little tiff, I will own it. I always take responsibility.
Okay.
I used to not. I used to blame. But now I'm like, when he comes home, whatever, I'll be like, I was clingy, wasn't I? And he'll be go, I'll be like, well, sorry about that, but I'm back. And he's like, okay, good. And that's what self-awareness is all about. No, I wasn't blissfully happy when I was feeling clingy and I wasn't getting what I wanted and I didn't get him to sit with me. But I'm aware of it so that I can come back later and go, I let that shit go. I was just being clingy. Maybe too focused on work? Can that be something that kind of interferes in your relationships?
Oh my gosh, and it doesn't matter what sex you're, if you're the girl, the guy, if you're two women in a relationship, whatever, there's always somebody that's working too hard, or both of you. Like, I always work a lot of hours at times, and we have opposite schedules because I'm early morning, he's evening, so we have to really come together and make sure that I have to make sure I'm aware of that, because if not, it has this horrible domino effect, and lack of communication and all these things. Fights started coming out if we're not aware of that.
Sounds like a rippling effect.
That's a rippling effect.
That's not a positive one. So we got to roll that in. Right. Well, when I think about me and my work, because I own my own business and I love what I do, which is weird when I say work, but I'm going to find another name for that. I could do this all day night. My passion.
It's your passion.
So much so that it'll be like 3 a.m. I'm like, oh my God. And then I message my right hand's Melissa, it's 3:15 and I'm just working on this stuff because I love it, but it interferes in my relationships.
Right, because you're not having time to communicate with your family.
No, and then I get so wrapped up in the work. I'm like, can you just wait 1 minute? Can you just wait 5 minutes? They don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
They just want some time with me. And I'm like, no, I can't do it now. I'm gonna do it later. I have to be really self-aware of that. I have to write down how many hours or what I'm doing, or I warn them. Listen, I'm going in. I'm going into the office and I'm going to get creative.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
But I have to be self-aware.
Right.
So if I'm not self-aware, I'm going to be like, you don't give me enough time to do my stuff. It's going to interfere in lots of different parts of our relationship. But that's where the self-awareness comes in. It's your thoughts, it's your feelings, it's your friendships, it's your relationships, intimate relationships with your family. All of these little things, only 5, right? If you can get a hold of all those and figure out what makes you tick. What makes you tick? Who are you? Who the hell are you?
The real you, not what everybody wants you to be.
She said it.
Yeah. Be you, the real person, so that way you can honestly find that happiness where you feel that balance in life. And you're like, hell yeah, I got this.
Right, you're being your best self. You're being authentic. You're being your true north. You're being you. That's what you want. You want to live being you.
And I don't think you ever have figured out 100%, at least not for me. I mean, I've been working with you for years and I still have these struggles, but I definitely can see the growth over the years, which is so amazing, because it's like, okay, each time I keep putting in the effort and becoming more self-aware, it's better and it's easier and it feels more fulfilling.
Yes, it's easier. It just goes quicker. We all get frustrated. We all have fights with our loved ones, right? With our friends sometimes, or the thoughts that we're having. But if you're self-aware, you'll be able to pull that shit right in quicker, right? And the other person doesn't even have to be as self-aware as you. Would you know that? So it's like sometimes you can do all the work and become really self-aware and the other person doesn't. You think, what is that? Because it's not about them, it's about you. So if they want to be frustrated and whatever, you can have compassion. You can be like, wow,
I'm going to pray for that person.
I'm going to pray for that person.
I'm going to pray for them. That's a Southern term.
Clearly, right? Clearly. Because they have a very low level of consciousness. They fall below the line quick, and you feel bad because they're spending their time unhappy for no reason when they can really make it better if they were more self-aware. They could really figure out, why am I so unhappy right now? What's happening?
But you can't force that either and say you. You have to live by example and do it yourself, and hopefully it has that rippling effect so they also will fall into the line of self-awareness and utilizing these 5 different, pillars.
I cannot tell you how many clients I've seen who made the transformation into their authentic self. And their family, their friends, their husbands, their children. I've had one client where the child said, "You're just so much more fun at night now. Like,
That's
you're just so
amazing.
much calmer." And if I can get that woman to speak up, I will ask her. Because you know what? They begin to shine. You begin to shine a little more because you're not so stressed and frustrated. You're self-aware, so you're able to kind of bring it in quicker. And people will say to them, "You look a little brighter. What's changed about you?" I kid you not. And that's that rippling effect of positive change, because then you get to tell them. Now they're asking. And because they're asking, you have an opportunity and a window to share what changes you've made, and tell them, you know what, you can make them too. Right? It's a beautiful thing.
It really is. Like, you end up living your highest vibration because you're more self-aware. I mean, it's just so many
It really is.
moments that happen when you become more self-aware.
Right, and that's the start of your transformation, is your self-awareness. And we are going to be hitting so many amazing topics during this whole video rippling effect to help everybody make a change, even if it's just one video at a time. We are going to hashtag ripple effect, positive change as much as we can. And we also are going to offer you our free digital download.
Yes, which is great. You can use it with your friends, your family, your loved ones, everybody that might be in your life, both close or at work, whatever it is. Give that worksheet out and, and see how it makes a change in their lives too.
Right, it's 10 life hacks about how you can be more self-aware. So you can just take it right there with you. Just print that thing out, email it to people. We love it. If you have any questions, you can go to our social media. You can always reach out to us. You can say, you can follow us and message us and say, "Hey, I just saw your video. I loved it. Let us know your feedback or content you may want." And also, we're doing this, which I think it's cool. I don't know if you will, but if you have a question or something you want to have be life coached around or coached around, you can send it to team, that's TEAM, at trianglelifecoaching.com. You send your question in, and it's confidential.
It is. We don't tell your name and address or who your friends are, none of that stuff.
Nope, it is under my umbrella of my ICF credential. You get 30 minutes laser coaching session with me, which is...
and that's great. Like, if you're below the line in a situation, you really need help, call this one. She's going to hook you up and kind of get you above the line again so you can make an effective decision that's better for you.
Yep. It works every time, and you're going to get that free. So we're really looking forward to seeing your questions. And your
questions too will help so many people. So maybe you're dealing with an issue in your relationship and you're like, "Oh, I don't want to share this." But just think about all the people that are watching that it will impact and hopefully make a difference for them too. So.
Right, it's that rippling effect. It's a hashtag rippling effect. We're all human beings, we're all energetically connected, and we're going to make a change in this world. One video at a time. So that's my 2 cents.
And thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you so much. Check us out on social as well.